Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where I get to talk to authors from all over the world. This author coming up, he wrote a book about what I've been trying to say, and I can't always articulate it, but he went through and page by page he lays out a path. How many people do you know, maybe it's you, that just go to work? They don't have a plan. They don't have an organized, know where they want to go. And they just trot through, and if a career rolls out in front of them, they get it. But our guest, let's see if I can find him coming up, Rick Hinkie. Rick Hinkie says there's 7 keys to a more satisfying future at work. Welcome, Rick.
Hey, thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Did I kind of get it right in the introduction?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Only 8% of the typical worker ever makes a career plan.
Career plan, yeah.
And so that's one of the 3, quote, big career mistakes that you and I have talked about. Not having a plan. So then what? Well, you kind of hope that be your boss, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe if you're in a larger organization, your HR department might help you, but it's your career.
Yep.
You're going to work for 40 years, maybe 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to leave that to chance.
Yeah. And tell us some of the keys. You'd say there's 7 keys?
Yeah, this whole thing started kind of innocently, to be honest with you. I was around a lot of highly successful people, and we were working together on some projects, and U.S. government, D.C., wherever, energy industry, local volunteers. Here where I live, one of them is a retired Apple vice president. Another one is the senior vice president for Victoria's Secret. Another one was the chief administrative officer in charge of all the employees of the Mayo Clinic worldwide.
Yeah.
And she started as a nurse's aide.
Wow.
So the question I got was, well, what did you do, right? I mean, how did you get? And I understand that your viewers and listeners, they're probably not. I mean, not everybody wants to be CEO, right? I get that, right? But the whole thing here is pay it forward, because if you're going to work that long, then why not thrive at it, right? That's not just show up and kind of go through the motions and whatever. So when I chatted with these people, that was the question: how in the world did you get? Another fellow was shoveling coal. Literally shoveling coal at a power plant. And when I interviewed Bill, he was in charge of a 12-state utility.
Wow. From
Wisconsin all the way to Texas. So, it's like, okay, so, and then I looked at my own career and I thought, wow, some of it was luck. Mm-hmm. Some of it was planned to a certain extent. But anyway, so that's where we are. So to the issue of the keys, I'm going to tease everybody with this, but I'll say it's hard to make a splash in the promotion pool if nobody knows who you are. So for one of the very first keys is, if you do want to grow in your organization, then, your boss knows who you are, your coworkers know who you are. But if the other people in other divisions don't know who you are, then you're probably not going anywhere. Because when I say pool, the thing that's happened in the business world is most larger organizations take all of their employees and put them into a pool, literally a pool, not water, but you know what I'm saying. And so nobody gets a big job unless a bunch of people in other divisions know who you are.
Great.
So that's one of the things. And in the book, there's 10 very specific things that anybody can do based on these interviews, right? So that's the spirit of that. And I tried it at the end of every chapter. There's actually a few workbook questions, so it's not a preachy thing. It's, you can apply it. That was my spirit.
Okay. I ask this question of everybody, every guest: who needs this book? What's the value of this book to people?
Well, I'll say that the reviews that I'm getting, people are saying, oh my gosh, I wish I'd have had this book earlier in my career. Or, you know what, I want one for my son. I want one for my cousin, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of fun. I mean, all the people I talked to, they would spend hours with me and then review what I wrote, from that interview, because all the interviews were published separately first, and then, but it's all. I mean, I would say it's probably not a book for a person just graduating from college.
Okay.
It's not a job about how to get a job. It's how to make the most of your job when you got one. At any stage. I mean, even if you're trying to be a VP or something, it'll help.
The whole idea about letting people know who you are, you got to get on the map, on the chart, and otherwise you're not going anywhere. I'm going to give this book to some people who, I would like to give it to a bunch of people. I say this sometimes for our viewers. Don't go and press the order button once. Press it 5 times or 10 times, because you'll always find somebody who could use this book and who would need this book. So people,
and Amazon's got it. $1.95 if you want the Kindle version. I think it's $13.95 if you want the printed version. But you can also go to the website, which is your7keys.com, and there, if you want one that's autographed,
nice.
Or if you want one that's dedicated, to a nephew or something or whatever, you can do that.
Yeah. By the way, how's the book been received? Are people liking it or saying this makes a lot of sense? You said some people have already commented to you about it.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm trying to one of the coaches said this is the most practical and targeted book on how to enhance your career. Excellent. Usable advice for any stage of your career. Valuable read to help take charge of your career. One of the best business books I've ever read, and so forth. So, I'm very kind folks, and I just think it resonates with folks. I mean, we went through the whole COVID mess, right?
Yeah.
And and now people are being forced back to work where they want to, whatever. So I think it just helps people. And there's one more element here. There's also a section in there about how you doing at work. In other words, how are you doing with your friend, with colleagues, and do you like what you're doing, and do you feel like you're well received? So there's kind of 2 parts to that. One of it is, why not do a health checkup? You do it for your heart and your whatever. Why not do it for your career? So there are freebie elements on the website you can download to help you with that.
Yeah, I was thinking at work there's always people that nobody likes, and you got to check and make sure you're not one of those people.
Well, true. And if for some reason, I'm on the board of a bunch of not-for-profits, senior center, stuff like that. And right now, I'm dealing with an issue just like that. This person is terrific, but she has a problem relating to other people. So, I'm trying to coach her using the book, ironically, to help her. Seriously, yeah.
What are some of the mistakes people make in their career?
Well, besides not having a plan, right? Then the next piece is maybe being a little, I hate to use the word chicken, but you got to remember I'm a baby boomer, right? So they're afraid to take risk.
Yeah.
And so, there are times, at one point I moved my family, teenagers, and my wife, from Minnesota all the way to D.C., right? No small thing. And then back again, believe it or not, a couple of years later. And, it took a lot of chutzpah to do that, and a lot of love and understanding on the part of the family. There are times young people typically will not take a lateral transfer. Okay. Well, if you think about the typical organization, right, the higher you go, you look down on a wider version of the team. So you probably got, if you're in accounting, maybe you want to go be in sales for a while, or maybe you want to go to engineering, or those kind of things that strengthen your back to the well-known thing.
Yeah, I've seen that. You want to work in different parts of the company, and if it means picking up and moving for a while, you come back more valuable.
I had a military career too, so at the very end, having been this private, in Minnesota National Guard, that whole thing, here I am at the Pentagon of all places, and the two-star guy says, I want you to help us plan for the destruction of the first Russian nuclear missiles. So, part of it's just being flexible and like, oh, yikes, but give it a shot, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Amazing, yeah. Part of my success, I want to see if you could help me find better words to express this. I feel my success is I've decided what I want every day.
Yes.
What I want to accomplish that day, that week, and that month. And so many people around me, they make no decisions like that. They get up, they go to work, and they see what happens.
Well, you're absolutely right. And one of the things so after we did the 60 people, right, then I did 25 webinars with people using the book to reevaluate their career and make a career plan, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you start to say, wow, and what you find out is, and I love them, and I got grandkids in these young, generations, but some young people were helicopter parented.
Yeah.
And what that means is they were kept from ever taking risk, making mistakes, and so forth at a young age, right?
Yeah.
So now they're at work. Well, gee, I can't quit and go over here, or so they miss opportunities. If, again, in my fortune, my dad worked for one company for 41 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm good company, but that was that. And then in my case, five different organizations.
Wow.
I shouldn't mention this in front of all of your beloved listeners.
We'll keep it between us.
Yeah, okay, yeah, between us. So in 1968, I get a job offer from this new company. They have two facilities. And I said, I don't think your concept is going to work. That was Target stores.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I don't want to parade around to everybody that's listening that I am the guru of gurus, right? We've all made mistakes along the way, but I am trying to share as much as I can. Oh, and by the way, this is not about me, and this is not about money. Any receipts we make goes to scholarships to help high school kids go to community colleges, because in a lot of states, the high schools are not funded very well, and the kids cannot get advanced placement courses. So our spirit is, this is all going away. It ain't about, let's put it in my pocket.
Rick, we're going to run out of time here. I just want to give you a few moments to, anything we glossed over, anything you want to point out about the book, about you, about life?
No, I just think, really want to encourage people to take control. Play around with the downloads on the website, and in one of them be the CEO, right? And another one be just have some fun with it, and think through, and don't keep working for an organization that's not bringing you joy and happiness.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Not worth it.
Great advice, Rick. So we have the web address on the screen, your7keys.com, and where, I know they can get the book on Amazon. Is it elsewhere?
Yeah, Ingram's got it too, so bookstores and whatever can all get it, yeah. And it's, again, as I said, it's available, Kindle, and it's available, in the printed version. I think you've got a picture of it somewhere.
Yeah. It's been popping up on the screen here and there.
So, yeah. And yeah, it's, I, believe it or not, had a newspaper. I wrote it, set the type, and ran the printing press when I was 9.
9 years old. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Why, I don't know, but anyway.
Let me just, I know we're over time, and they're giving me signals to cut it and everything, but just tell us a little bit about, these are people who've done it. This is a way we can learn from somebody who's already done it. Talk about that.
Well, yeah, for example, Harvey McKay was a coach of mine, as were others, and just I was whatever. Just along the way, you want to be open. You want to hear, what worked, what didn't work,
Yes.
In some cases, I was embarrassed because they called me aside and said, Rick, whatever. So the idea here is just why not listen to these folks who took the time, right?
Yes.
I mean, the Victoria's Secret person,
Yeah.
she was almost an orphan. I mean, she had hand-me-down clothes from the woman across the street, right, who was 60. And so I mean, you can do it. Just have confidence in yourself. It's not about ego. It's not, it's just keep at it.
Right.
Just keep at it. Yeah.
By the way, I do want to say, I meant to say earlier, I never stop reading books like this. I'm always looking for another book that'll just present it to me in another way and another way to think about it. And I love these books, these types of books. They're very important. I attribute my entire success to books like these. So,
well, I appreciate it. Yeah, me too. I mean, yeah. And I just finished my 42nd novel for the year, according to Goodreads. So, I love to read too, but you need inspiration once in a while. Yeah.
Right.
Amen.
Most important thing I learned is I don't know everything. I don't know very much at all. Why not learn from people who've gone before me?
Yeah, amen to that. Well, that's kind of the spirit of humanity. I mean, seriously, from our cave days, we've been learning and teaching each other all the way along. That's exactly that.
Rick, we're way past time, but I want to have you back again and again. You're an inspiration to me, that's for sure. And I hope you'll come back and talk about some of your novels as well.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks very much.
All right. And for our viewers, don't go anywhere. We will be back with another author right after this.